Hello everyone, I am Shubham Mishra and in today's video I will be explaining my understanding of OSI model. So OSI model or open system interconnection interconnection model is a conceptual framework that standardizes how data travel across networks, ensuring seamless communication between devices. It is developed by international organization for standardization which we call iOS ISO, which we call ISO. The OSI model breaks down the complex process of network communication into seven distinct layers. Each layer serves as a specific purpose, working together like an assembly line to package, transmit, and unpack data. Let's dive into each layer, exploring their roles and real world example to make this topic a little bit more engaging. We will be starting from the seventh layer, which we typically do in terms of OSI model. That will be application layer uh, till the bottom layer, that is layer 1, which we call physical layer. So the seventh layer is application layer. Application layer. The application layer is where the user interacts with the network service through applications like web browser, email clients, or file sharing programs. It provides the interface for the software to send and receive data. The key protocols of application layer are HTTP or HTTPS, which powers web browser. For example, when you visit a website like youtube.com, HTTP or HTTPS ensures your browser communicates with the server to fetch the data. Second popular protocol of application layer is FTP, which is file transfer protocol, which enables file upload and download, such as transferring a presentation or a Word document to a cloud server. Third is SMTP, which is simple mail transfer protocol, which handles email delivery. Think of sending think of sending an email via Gmail. SMTP ensures it reaches the recipient's inbox. A fourth is, which is not commonly used right now, is Telnet, which facilitates remote access to virtual terminals, often used by IT admins to manage servers remotely. If I have to give you an example of application layer, then think of booking a flight online. The application layer is at work here. When you enter your details in a browser that uses your HTTP to securely send your request to the airline server. The data from application layer is sent to our next layer, which is sixth layer, which we call presentation layer. The presentation layer acts as a translator, converting data from the application layer into a machine readable format or vice versa. It ensures data is presented in a way that both sender and receivers understand. The key functionality of presentation layer, if I have to tell you, then it will be, as I said, translation that converts data formats like turning text character into binary. For instance, if we have to translate a typed URL into a format that network can process, then translation will be used. Second will be data compression. Now, presentation layer uses two type of data compression mechanics. First is lossy compression, like JPEG for images, which sacrifices some quality, and second will be lossless compression, just as zip file, which preserves all the data. Another feature of presentation layer will be encryption and decryption, uh, which secures data protocol, which secures data using protocols like SSL and TLS, if I am not wrong. When you shop online, this layer encrypts your credit card details for safe transmission. If I have to give you an example of presentation layer, then it will be streaming a movie like Netflix, which involves the presentation layer compressing the data, the video to reduce buffering and encrypting it to protect your viewing session from eavesdroppers. The data from presentation layer, the data from presentation layer is then transferred into session layer, which is the fifth layer of OSI model. The session layer manages the communication between devices, ensuring data is exchanged smoothly. It setups, maintains, and terminates connection, keeping track of data packet for seamless transaction. The key functionality of session layers are session management, which tracks which data belongs to which session. For example, it ensures your video call and simultaneous file download doesn't get mixed up. Second is authentication and authorization. Verifies user verifies user identities and permission. Logging into a secure server requires this layer to validate your credentials. And it also provides us with some helpers like APIs or net BIOS, which facilitates session coordination. The example of session layer will be during a video conference or on Zoom. The session layer keeps your call connected, managing data packets so your conversation flows without interruption. The data from session layer is then transferred into the fourth layer of OSI model, which is called transport layer. Now, the transport layer ensures reliable data transfer by breaking data into smaller units, which we call segments. It controls the data flow, handles error, and decides whether communication is connection oriented or connectionless. It uses some famous protocols like TCP, which is called Transmission Control Protocol, which is a connection oriented. That means it ensures reliable delivery. It is like sending a registered letter. You will get a confirmation when it arrives. It is generally used for web browsing and email. And second is UDP, User Datagram Protocol. It is a connectionless protocol which prioritizes speed over reliability, ideal for real time application like streaming or gaming, where a drop in packet or two won't ruin your experience. The function of transport layer is, let's say, it assigns port number to the applications. It uses sequence number to reassemble data into correct order and manages flow control to prevent overwhelming the receiver. The example is streaming a live sports event where which uses UDP for speed, and downloading the software's update where every packet is important and uses TCP to ensure every file arrives arrives intact. The data from okay, so the data from transport layer is then transferred to the network layer. The network layer directs the data packet that we have received from the transport layer across the whole network, determining the best path for sender to receiver. It's where routers operate, using logical addressing to navigate the internet via highways. The key functionalities are logical addressing, where we assign the IP addresses to the devices, which are IPv4 address or IPv6 address. The second will be routing. The second will be routing and path determination. The protocols like OSPF, BGP, and ISIS decide the most efficient route for packets. Example, when you send a message, the network layer finds the shortest path to the recipient's device. Like when you are sending a photo via WhatsApp, involves the network layer routing packet through multiple routers across the globe to reach the friend's phone. Uh, the data from network layer is transferred to the second layer of OSI model, which is data link layer, which ensures the which ensures which ensures the error-free data transfer between adjacent network nodes. It handles the physical addressing and prepares the data for physical layer through framing. So the key features are physical addressing, which uses MAC address to identify devices on the same network, unlike the network layer's IP address. Second is framing. Second is framing, which organizes data into frames for transmission. Third will be error detection, which checks for corrupted data using techniques like CRC, which is also called cyclic redundancy check. Sorry, and fourth will be media access control, which manages access to shared media like Ethernet cables. The last layer of OSI model is called physical layer, which is the very foundation of this layer. It converts the data bits into electrical, optical, or radio signals for transmission over physical media like cables or airwaves. The key features is the transmission of raw bits as signals. It defines hardware specifications like connected type and signal voltage. Example of physical layer is plugging an ether cable into your computer involves which sends binary data as electrical signal to your router. So why does OSI model actually matters? Think of OSI model as a recipe for network communication, with each layer adding a critical ingredient. By breaking down the process into 7 layers, it simplifies the network designing, troubleshooting, and innovation. For instance, as a developer, if I am creating some new application that will work into layer 7, and I do not need to worry anything about how the data is going to be transferred through layer 1. That is my understanding of OSI model, which I have learned in this tech journey. Now, that is it for today's video. I will see you on the next video with another model called TCP IP model. I'm Shubham Mishra signing off.